Okay, so in this video we are going to take a look at Microsoft Word and the basics of it. So let's start with opening Word. For me in my MacBook Pro, it's already open here in the panel. And when I click it, I will have this view. And now I can choose between different templates. I usually don't use these, but if you want, you can take a look at them in the later assignment too. But with this first one, you just need to have a blank document, which is the basic A4 document, which is probably the one that you are going to use the most. So yep. Also, now it says Juha because this is my dad's old Microsoft, but you will have the documents that you have opened previously here as well. So for example, if I want to make some corrections for your assignments here that I just wrote to you, I can open the document here and I don't have to open it from the upper panel file open. So this is quite useful, but so that you know that it's there. Anyway, let's open a new blank document and then take a look at what is in here. So I'm just gonna take this off for a minute, then take this to the full screen so we can take a better look at it. So now with the basic view of Microsoft Word, we have different sections here. And each of these titles open another like window here. So if I put this one, insert, we have different tools here. And if I put design, we will once again have more different types of things that we can do in Microsoft Word. In the panel in the below this page, we have how many pages we have in this document, how many words we have, and which is the language of the document. I can also zoom in and zoom out of this document here. There are other things that you could do, but I'm just not going to go into them. They are not really something that you need to know, so you can check them out if you want. If I bring my mouse without clicking, it's hovering below the icon, I can see what they say, print layout, web layout, and so on. It's the same with these different tools that I will have the name of the tool when I put my mouse hovering. For example, here it can be pretty useful to see that this is numbering and this is bullet points and so on. But okay, let's go the basics of the Microsoft Word step by step. So with the home section here, we have the basics like what font type we want to use for our text. When I click here, I will have like more options for that specific font. And then we have the size here, and then bold, italic, underline, strike through, and we don't really need these, but you can test it out if you want. I can also increase or decrease font size here, or just change it from here. We have the basic highlight colors. So if you want, for example, my name is Liisa Hannola. So if I want to highlight this one, I can do it with that. I can also change the color, and if I want to undo it, I can, for example, with my MacBook, I can press Command, press it down, and then press Z, like zebra. So it will undo it, or I will go to File, and Edit and undo typing, or redo highlight. Yep, so I can change the color here if I want to, for example, have different sections that would have a different highlight. If I want to change the color of the text, I will go here. Now it's like blue, so I can change it to green or black and so on. There are also, if I press more colors, now it's like black, but if I choose a different color, for example, it's like a kind of like a grayish, bluish gray. When I press more colors, I can, with this like a pointing tool, I can choose a different color and then modify how much I want the color to have a hue, like how much saturation is there in the color. There are also different options like pencils or this kind of like different type of color thing. But if you have a specific color in mind, this is something that you can use. Okay, so now with the different, what do we have here? We don't really need these, but these later ones are really important. So let's open text here. I will open this article with file open. You can open the file that you will be working on in the assignment 1. So now I have more text here, and if I want to, for example, align it to center, I can choose everything by pressing CMD command and A. With PC it's Control plus A. And now I can, for example, align it to center or to right, or to fully justify the text, which is going to make the lines the same length. This works pretty well with English texts, but with Finnish it's a little bit more tricky because we have really long words in Finnish, and that's why we need hyphenation. And usually if we put this type of justification, like fully justify the text, it's going to leave really big empty spaces between the words, which is not going to make reading easy. So we don't really want to do it if we don't really have a reason for doing it. But this fully justified text can be, it has its benefits definitely. For example, if you are reading like a column with 2 columns, like an article with 2 columns, it is actually really fast to read because the eye doesn't have to move from the start of the line really far. So these types of things affect the readability or legibility of the text. So just to mention it here briefly. But these are, like, this is pretty like the common one for us who are Westerners. In some parts of the world, the right alignment is more typical. If you have lists, we have lists, options for lists like bullet points, numbering, and so on. The next one here, line and paragraph spacing. So if we have the text. Let's go a little bit closer actually. Here. Now the spacing between the lines is 1. 1.5 is a pretty common one. So now there's more space between the lines. This also affects readability a lot. I don't recommend using 1 for line spacing. It makes it harder for you to read. The same thing goes for if you have too big space between the lines, it is also harder to read. And with communication overall, the most important thing when you are designing a layout with text, whether it is a visual text like your CV or an article, a portfolio, or for example your thesis, your bachelor's thesis, the most important thing is always readability, legibility. Not that it would not be important for your layout to be beautiful and well designed, but if you lack with readability, or maybe it's the correct word, the legibility, but anyway, how hard it is or easy it is to read the text. If you can't read the text easily, it doesn't matter how beautiful your layout is. So always keep that in mind. If you are not sure, maybe you should check with your peers or your friends and family. Like, does it look like it is easy to read? Because when we are talking about communication and communication technology, we want to make communication as easy as possible. So that's why it is really, I am emphasizing this, especially with art students, because we are the creative types and we usually want to do all sorts of things with visual things, and sometimes we forget that the most important thing with text is that it communicates clearly. Okay, so other things here. If we want to for example, we have a quote, we can increase indent so that there would be more space here, or take it back. If we make more of it, we can click it more times. Okay, then we have some things that are not that important, but this here, show or hide formatting marks or invisible characters. What does it mean? Let's actually put this to 1.5 and let's put this whole text to 1.5. Okay, so if I have this clicked, this is pressed down, so now it's like a lighter color of gray. And then there is this mark that looks like a letter P, kind of like that. It marks the space between lines. And actually, when we don't know how to use Microsoft Word properly, we usually make these spaces. For example, after the title, we can make more space and then start the paragraph from here. And this is not the proper way to do it. We want to use styles for creating the space between different types of lines, like the title and the kind of like the intro and the body of the text. So now this is important. We are still in the home section, and we have here different types of styles. If I click from the arrow, I get more styles. So I have ready-made styles here. So for example, I can put heading 1 here, and let's put, there's no, yeah, there are more titles, heading 2, here again, heading 2, heading 2, like this. And now I can choose text here and put normal, and I will change all the text that is body to normal. And it will change it. I can also just click with my cursor. I don't have to paint over it. And this is the thing that you need to do in assignment 1. So just create the styles. First with the ready-made styles, and then I will show you how to modify them. Here, and then maybe this is also normal, and let's put something else here. For example, subtitle. Oh, yeah, subtitle. Could be like this. This is also normal here. Okay, so now the next thing that I will do is that I will remove all the extra spaces here, so that after the line there's only one P and nothing else after that. So I will click all these away. You can pause and do it now if you want, or you can watch this whole video and then do these things step by step. Now yes, and then here and like so. Okay, so it doesn't look really good now. What should we do? We are going to make space between this, just checking that the recording is on, between this and the next line. So now I have heading 1, so I will right click it, or if you have a MacBook, you can click it with your 2 fingers, so that you will get this selection here and modify. So now I will have, I can actually name it. I can name it to title. Actually, like maybe like something more clear, Lisa's title. Okay, so now I can change the font type. So if I want it to be something different, for example, let's take a standard Baskerville photo type, and I will put it to 20. Let's put it a little bit higher, like this. And now I have the same alignments here, like if it's centered or aligned to the right and so on. And then I have the space between lines. So now this is the title, so I don't really have to think about the line spacing. It affects the space after the line, even though there is none, like no lines between, like this is the only line. But the paragraph space between the paragraphs, nothing happens if I click here, because there is no paragraphs for this style. Like there is only one line. There is no paragraphs of the same style like there is in the body, text body. So now if I want to have more space after this line, the title, I will actually go here to the left corner and I will choose paragraph here. And now spacing, I can actually modify this line spacing with, if I put 50 here, I can also put like 50 here. Now if I press OK, I will have more space between the title and the next line. So this is the way to have some space between here. Like if I want like a lot of space there, I will go to paragraph once again, and then after I will put like 100 and OK. So it will have even more space here. So this is the correct way of putting some space between the paragraph and the title. This should actually be like a little bit like not so far from the title. Anyway, let's then modify the other parts. Then we have this intro, which is called subtitle at this point, so I will modify it and then I will put it a little bit larger, and I will do the same with it. I will go to paragraph and then I will have some space after it, like let's say like 20, and OK. So now I will have more text. This is not like pretty, this is not really, it doesn't really look good, but just to show you an example on how to modify this, maybe I will put like a little bit less here. And then maybe add some more space between this one. And let's put this to 50. Okay. And now with the body, this is highlighted. So this is my, if you don't find it, just click these arrows and you can select the one that is selected, so that now this text is normal, so I can modify it. And now we can see how these icons affect the space between the paragraphs. So now firstly I will go and add some space between the lines, like so, and then I will add some space between the paragraphs, like this. So let's see how it looks. Oh, it's way too big. So I will go again and then I will it's alright, but with this font I actually want to change the font. I will change it to the basic Times New Roman, everyone's favorite font. Okay, it looks quite large, spacing. Well, you can decide what looks best for you. I think this doesn't really good, like 1.5 line spacing doesn't really look good with this text, with this spacing, because the chapters are really short. It would look okay like this, but with these short chapters doesn't really look good, but it depends on the text. Like this is an article from Guardian, I think, found online. So that's why the chapters are really small. So if you are doing the assignment 1, you can just make some modifications here. And you can just quickly read the text, but it's not, you don't really have to read it carefully. It's just that you know what the text is about. And now, as I did my changes to the style here, for example, if I just want to change the whole body font type to Arial, it will change the whole text with the same style to Arial. So you don't have to click all those paragraphs separately. Now I will also have to make some changes to, this looks a little bit different, I don't know why. I will have to change the heading 2, and I will once again modify it, and I will just put the same Times New Roman, but put it to bold, and then I will change the color here, and I will change it to, let's say, like orange. Let's go wild and put orange, and then I will add some space. Between the chapters, like so. Maybe I will put the title a little bit bigger as well. The basic rules for font sizes are that if you have, for example, a subtitle and your body text, the difference between the sizes, if there are at least similar font types, or it shouldn't be, the change shouldn't be so small that it would be like 1 point different. For example, if I had 12 or like 13 for the subtitle and then 12 for the body text, it wouldn't look good. We want to have a little bit of a contrast between the title and the body. So you can do it with changing one text type to bold or italic, or you can do it with changing the font type. We are talking about more about font types later, but we have grotesque, and or like maybe the easiest way to separate font types is serif and sans serif, which means the little line here. This marks serif fonts, so we have these like lines in the ends of the letter. If it's sans serif, it means without the line, like without the end line here. It's like for example, if I change this to Arial, let's put Arial. We don't have any end lines or upper lines here. These font types are usually easier to read digitally, and the serif fonts are usually more readable when it's printed, but the difference nowadays, it's not so clear. We have really good phones, and we have really good technology nowadays, so now we see a lot of serif fonts displayed digitally as well. So nowadays the separation between those two is not that clear. It used to be, and that is about resolution. Like when we had digital devices that didn't have a really good resolution, the lines would just make the letters not so readable, because the display wouldn't be so sharp. So that's why we needed to make these more minimalistic, these letters. So that's how that's how or why sans serif fonts were originally like preferable when we did things online or digitally. Anyway, we were talking about the paragraph styles. So now I have my text here and I am just okay happy with it. So this is the tab that we used, and now your text should be without any extra tabs. There is no this, I don't know why it looks like that. I will go through the whole text and see that there's no mistakes. Okay. So now I can take this off and there will be no marks left. Now it's pretty clear. Now you need to go through these changes from home setting and then do the changes for your assignment 1 and then go to the next video.